Hello and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people who do incredible things. Hi, I'm painting myself into a corner. I am Trey. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, I'm joined by my co-host Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hello. I'm not painting myself into a corner. I'm also painting Trey into a corner.
Ah! Uh, how's your week been, Emily?
Pretty good. Pretty cold. I think the whole nation right now is pretty cold. So all of y'all can finally relate.
Yes. For our listening only audience, it is 2026 and the quote unquote snowpocalypse has just happened. Um, I in the South got hit with a fair amount of ice, but everywhere else got hit a lot harder. So I think everyone's glad that this is a little over at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you just need it like once a year to remind yourself how much you appreciate the warmer temps.
Just a little bit. And you know what? On Friday, we get to have more snow.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. I hope you can enjoy that somehow.
Somehow, yes. But otherwise, what have you gotten into artistically?
Um, oh goodness. It's been kind of quiet in the last week. I've been doing little like website updates and things like that. So not much. Also cleaning my house. So it's
Okay.
really not been a lot of art lately. But that's okay. I'll get there. How
Yeah.
about you?
I did some antiquing, and so
Ooh.
I've been looking for furniture, and I finally figured out what style I'm actually going for. I had trouble verbalizing it before, but I
Yeah.
finally found it. French Provincial.
Oh, nice.
I had wanted originally Art Nouveau, but early 1900s furniture is apparently super expensive. So I'm looking for something adjacent to that, and French Provincial has been it. But I do want to tell you about this incredible thing that I found,
Okay.
and it was an original stained glass ice cream parlor like window display. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
done in complete Art Nouveau style. Some of the like stained glass in it had been warped a little bit from time, but like it is still in one complete chunk. There was no damage to it, no chips. The patina on it still looked fantastic. Sitting in an antique shop in Mooresville. And for $650, I could have brought that thing home and had just an ice cream parlor Art Nouveau thing in my house. It was, I saw it from across the thing, and I was with a friend
Wow.
of mine and just shoved him, and I said, "Get out of my way! I'm going to see this." And man,
Get
it
out of
was,
my way.
it was so beautiful. Um,
But you
really,
didn't walk away with it.
I didn't walk away with it, but just the fact that I found it and I found something in nature
In
was
nature.
hey, an antique shop is nature to me.
No, I
Um,
get.
look, I'm pale. I burn in the sun. This is my nature. Okay.
All right.
But
Amazing.
it just made my heart happy. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited about.
I that is probably, I mean, I don't know how big it is, but that sounds like it might have even been a reasonable price.
Yes, honestly. I
Yeah.
would say it's probably about 6 feet tall by about 3.5 feet wide.
Oh,
Like
it's definitely worth that price.
it was
Oh,
huge.
wow.
It was so good. Um,
It
so
probably cost a lot to ship that here.
yes.
Bing.
But I'm so glad that I saw it. I'm so glad that I got to experience it. Which is a nice segue to talk about when I'm able to find art out and about as I'm like walking around and kind of
Yeah,
unexpected. And it kind of reminds me of our guest today. So would you please introduce our fantastic guest?
of course. Our guest tonight is Jason Jones. He is a muralist and visual artist whose work he transforms old paintings and public spaces into playful worlds, kind of full of curiosity. He's got some humor and definitely some heart in his work. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on here. Love your show too.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm a big fan of yours because specifically, there are many reasons, but one specific reason is because you've taken old thrift store paintings and put Muppets in them. And I love the Muppets. And that when I saw that, I was like, this is brilliant.
Thanks.
We can be friends.
Yes. Yeah, I try not to do pop culture stuff too much, but I have a soft spot for the Muppets. They're just like I can't. I gotta. I gotta make fan art in there.
Who's your
It's
who's your
so cool.
favorite?
Oh, I don't know. It's tough between. It would be between Beaker and the Swedish Chef, maybe. It's just I don't know. It's hard to say. They're all so wonderful.
Beaker is awesome.
Do you guys have favorites?
Ooh.
I'm a fan of Kermit, and I also like Gonzo.
Yeah. Gonzo's great too.
Right, Trey?
Yeah. You do. Okay, for those who don't know, Emily does a great impression of Gonzo. I will not make her do it now, but she does a
I'll
great
do it.
impression
It's
of
just
Gonzo.
not good.
It makes me laugh so much when I
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. I needed that.
You're welcome. Goodness. I'm sorry. I feel like I derailed that.
I want to get back to that at some point, but I am very curious for our listening audience to know how you got into art. So can you kind of walk us through your journey into becoming a muralist and an overall artist?
Yeah, it started really young for me. I mean, I guess some of my first memories are just drawing portraits of my parents. And yeah, I think now that I'm older, like I've learned about the whole neurodivergence thing and all of that. So I've always been like really kind of just socially awkward. And some of my language, I think I was probably even delayed in. So I just took right to drawing and making things. That was just how my brain worked. So pretty much from elementary on, I was just always drawing or making something. And then I also grew up just south of Fayetteville, Arkansas, just kind of in the sticks is what I tell people.
Yeah.
So I was just completely surrounded with nature. And I think that's the next step. When you're in nature, you just like start to want to recreate it some way.
Real nature, Trey.
Rude.
Sorry, please continue.
I love that you're finding ways to recreate it. And then how did that evolve as you got a little bit older?
So yeah, just kind of I was probably 14, I think, and my mom put me into some oil painting classes. There was just an older lady in the small town close to where I grew up. She just dropped me off as like $5, and I'd go sit in. She had a little studio space, and I'd paint for like 3 hours. I kind of started developing skills then, and then probably not long into that, I there was a video store in town. I think I was 14, and I would ride my bike. Like this was about 3 miles to it. And the owner of that let me. He had a big privacy fence out by the parking lot, and we'd go in, and he paid me with just like Nintendo game rentals and VHS rentals. But
Yeah.
we go in and pick a VHS tape, it'd be like Gone with the Wind or some Disney film, Fantasia or whatever, and I paint scenes on the fence as I went. And then pretty much from then on, I mean, that was probably early 90s. Yeah, I was hooked. So yeah, I did the mascots and stuff in my high school when I was probably a junior, and then yeah, I just kept the ball rolling. So until I went to college and then majored in art. Yeah, and then after that, I got out. I applied to a bunch of graduate schools, but I didn't get into anything. So then I just kept plugging away. I did kids' rooms and some commercial stuff. Like the Walmart headquarters here. So I did some corporate backdrop kind of art stuff.
Wow.
None of that stuff I'm super proud of, but it was a great time to learn my craft. I
Yeah.
did that for so many years. And then once kind of the street art movement hit, I was ready. Yeah.
That sounds pretty. You know, it reminds me of another guest we had on, named Scott, who is a tattoo artist and wrote a children's book called Diego the Doodling Dinosaur. And Diego the Doodling Dinosaur is like your story. He's a dinosaur that would just kind of wanted to doodle in school instead of like do the work. Not that you didn't want to do the work. I'm not trying to say that, but like that story just seems to apply to so many people, and I feel like we're always hearing stories like that. And yours is one of them that reminds me of that book. Like, not to. I'm gonna plug the book. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, not to
check
plug
it
the
out.
book. Actually, I've already plugged the book. No, Diego the Doodling Dinosaur is a kid's book that everybody should go read.
I'll
Anyway,
look
please
that up.
continue.
I love kids' books too.
It's a good one, and it's on Amazon. It's like not very expensive.
Nice. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
So, like Emily alluded to, and I want to come back to that. So, you went to school, you went to college, majored in art. How did you make the leap from that to murals and also to painting the Muppets into thrift store paintings?
Yes. Yeah, so I guess after college, the leap to the murals, I mean, I'd already been doing that previously, some like sign painting and whatever I could get. It's just trying to be scrappy and be able to feed myself, basically. I got a mural on the University of Arkansas campus here, just like a small, and that led to, it was like dominoes, you get one and then it leads to another one. And it was just a slow, patient process of building up a portfolio. That's probably one of the main keys, is you just got to have a lot of patience and time, to make quality stuff that people are really going to want. And then, yeah, it was just years and years of that. I can't really say it was like, oh, I did this one big thing and then everything was downhill from there. But yeah, it's just a snowball.
It's like they say, becoming an overnight success takes 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and it really, I think there is something to that too, with the 10,000 hours or whatever. Like, there's a lot of failure. There's a lot of stuff like I would be embarrassed like now
Yeah.
to show you that, I did like 20 years ago. You're just learning.
Of course.
You just got to be kind of patient and give yourself grace as you go.
Yeah. And when you alter a painting, like for like a thrift store painting or something like that. By the way, your work with that is so cool, and you've inspired me to want to paint because of that. Like, seeing what you do there made me want to do that too, even though I don't actually paint. But I would want to, because I want to be able to do those little, just inserting my own whatever into another painting that exists thrills
Yeah.
me somehow for some reason. But I'm wondering what. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, you should definitely try it. There's something so
Yeah.
therapeutic about it to me.
Yeah?
I don't know. It's something about, so I do keep it kind of separate than the murals.
Yeah.
Just because the murals are all commissions.
Sure.
And the commissions can just like crush you sometimes if that's all you're doing. There may be
Relatable.
times where I'm doing a mural and there'll be like 10 people making the decision. Of course, art being subjective, it gets overwhelming sometimes. So I keep the thrift store paintings as like, I don't take commissions with those. I only keep it, totally artistic freedom. And I find it so therapeutic. So,
Yeah. Do you ever think about like I think the one thing that would my immediate hang up, maybe it's because I don't paint and you do, but like my thought is I have this artist work that I'm obviously putting my own work onto, do you have some sense of responsibility to the artist, or do you ever worry about messing that up?
I think about that quite a bit. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, I think of it as parody. My stuff is, I try to
Yeah.
make everything just kind of humorous. So,
Yes.
um, and that's in that sense of parody, I don't take it real seriously. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some people that get upset with me, but one thing about it is a lot of these are just like I've had pieces that have literally come from dumpsters.
Oh,
Um,
Okay.
like they're just being thrown out. A lot of them, most of them are just like old vintage lithographs. That
okay.
uh, usually my mom and sister, they're avid thrifters, so they bring them to me the most. But they're like, look what I got for $4. It's not like I'm destroying the original
Sure, sure.
thing. And then I try to be considerate of like not making something super offensive, in that sense.
Right.
But yeah, it's a fine line, I guess. You just kind of
One of
walk.
my favorites is a girl. It's like it's got a lot of blue tones to it. It's a girl that's standing on like the edge of the sea, and then in the distance there's a ship with like a kraken taking it
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
That might
I
be my favorite, other than the Muppet stuff.
Yeah, I like to mesh up the like cute and creepy
Mm-hmm.
mesh up a little bit. And so yeah, you're like, I don't know, like I'll have monsters, but you're like, I don't know, they look kind of friendly, but
Yeah,
then
the
you don't
robots
really
too.
know. Yeah,
They're
so
Yeah.
like just doing their thing.
yeah, that's kind of
Hmm.
like that. Like I'll find paintings that are sweet, and then I'm like, oh, it needs a kraken or whatever. So,
I do have to say that I love the images both in your murals and also with your thrift store paintings of the robots specifically, because it's this nice, healthy blend between nature and science together. So they're always doing something that's in tune with nature. And there are a couple murals. There's one where there's a robot holding a giant flower, and another one is like holding a giant watering can and like pouring it on some tomatoes, I think. It's just really cute and adorable. And I was like, I really like this. This is fun.
yeah, I mean, of course, there's kind of in my head, there's layers behind some of that kind of the robot theme and that. Of course, some of it is I do love science, and then I think a lot about like just environmentalism and sustainability. Like most technology does harm,
Hmm.
to nature. So I like to. It helps me to imagine ways that the technology, like the robots, are kind of in sync in nature or helping nature in some way. So that is a part of the theme with that.
I like that.
And then also too, a lot of times, I think I'm the robot. I just want to be out in the nature kind of thing. So I don't know. So yeah, usually that's part of it too.
I like that you've made the robots kind of, even though they're obviously standing out as different, they also sort of belong at the same time.
Yeah.
And
And then,
that's an interesting balance that you seem to achieve every time.
yeah, it's important to me to have like a sense of play. I mean, that's sort of what art is to me
Hmm.
anyway. So yeah, even just thematically, I'll always go in that direction. It's like, what do I want to play? What do I want to do to have fun? So that's what the robots are doing. What I
Right.
want to do. So,
Or if not that, it's Mona Lisa holding a lollipop.
yeah,
Right.
Um,
yeah, that one's kind of got a funny story. I did an original one where I had a Mona Lisa holding a taco, um,
yes.
and then I had a show at here in Fayetteville, and someone came and bought the original, and then right after that someone came. It was someone's parents, and they were like, our son sent us here to buy that original, but it had already sold. So the guy was like really really bummed. He reached out. I was like, I'm sorry. And he wanted me to do another one, and I was like, I just don't want to do the same thing. So I was like, but he hired someone to paint a canvas painting of the Mona Lisa, and then had it shipped to me, and then I altered it. So
Oh,
that's why I did the one with the lollipop. It was for him.
Wow. That's so
'Cause
cool.
I get that a lot of times. They'll sell one an original sell at a show, and then people are like, they're like, I wanted that one. So what happens a lot. I'm like, sorry, try to
how
make some more.
validating, though. Like, I would think so anyway. Sorry, Trey.
Yeah.
You're good. How do you decide for like when you come up with an idea for your next painting, whether it be a mural, whether it be on canvas, um, how do you decide and go about figuring out if it should be on like smaller canvas, huge canvas? Like, I'm basically asking for your artistic process because I'm very intrigued how you translate what's in your mind onto the canvas itself.
Yeah, it all just starts. I mean, to be honest, there's not a big difference to me, like design wise, whether if it's a giant mural or just one of the small thrift store paintings. I start the same way. I just start sketching. I've always just doodled in a sketchbook. Um, Now I use like Procreate a lot of times. So I'll just take a picture of the wall or the thrift store piece, and I start doodling on the top of it. It's just a creative process. I just start thinking like I'll add something. If I don't like it, I wipe it, try again, and then once I get something I like, I'll add to it, change it, add it and change, add and change until finally something starts clicking. Yeah, and it's kind of, I find it works kind of either way. If I blow it up, to 4 stories tall, or if it's just a little tiny intimate painting. It kind of, if it's good design, I feel like it works either way. But yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
Well, it definitely does, because there's that whole iteration process. I think the beauty of technology is that you get to kind of make choices, but then you get to immediately change that. So it gets you a little bit faster to what the end product is eventually going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It usually comes down to back to the element of play, like I was talking about. Like it's got to be fun. Like that's how I know if it's clicking or not. If it's like you kind of lose that sense of time and you're like really into it and enjoying it, that's when I know I'm getting somewhere. Um, and it may be too with I probably have the brain of an 8-year-old boy somewhere, to explain some of my art too. But I I do know like doing the murals is probably influenced it some too, because anytime you're working in the public, um, you hear a lot of opinions.
Hmm.
So they can be, they're usually either most of the time it's wonderful, but then there are some times when you get criticism and that. So I try not to focus on the adults, and I love it when kids get excited about my work. So a lot of times that's a starting point for me is I'm like, what is a kid going to get really excited about, So I hear stories sometimes of parents will tell me their kids interacting with my murals, and I'm like, that's the best, reviews I can get. So
It's funny how kids kind of instinctively understand that, like your art, whereas sometimes adults kind of forget that or lose that as they get older. I wonder what that is. Like, what is it? Is it that sense of whimsy and wonder? Or if it's like, I don't know. I've always wanted to know how people can hang on to that better.
yeah, I feel like I'm always chasing it. Like that's my
Hmm.
my goal in life, I guess. So it's like we laugh or cry. So I'm trying my best, yeah, to just make whimsy and fun.
Well,
When
it seems like you're doing that well.
Well,
Sorry, Trey.
thanks.
Good. I would agree. So when you're in the middle of, say, a commission for murals, and you're trying to make sure that it's fun amid you've got 10 people making decisions around you,
Yeah.
how do you keep finding the fun in those moments where it might not be so fun?
Yeah, I think like I mentioned before, I'll just sometimes I do with the commissions, I'll just get overwhelmed and I'm like, okay, I just got to get through this. I'm trying to make everyone happy. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, and that'll wear on me sometimes, but I'll come back to like really the murals are about 50-50 of my time, like 50% of the murals and then 50% of the thrift store art. So I'll just come back to the thrift store art when I need a break. Um, and then I just, like I said, I'll do total artistic freedom on those. And that seems to help me refill the cup, I guess.
That's great that you can do 50-50 even. I think that's awesome. And I want to mention to our audience before it gets too late and I forget, you have on your website somewhere, I don't remember where, I can look, but there's a link to your Etsy. Oh, if you click on shop at the top, where you can go actually buy some of your art. And you have an Etsy shop with these surf store paintings and prints of those on cards and things like that. And so anyone who wants to go look at that, the website is artistjasonjones.com. So you can go find that. Even if you want to go check out some of his work while we're talking. And then on Instagram, it's artist Jason Jones as well. But
Yeah.
I wanted to throw that out there before we forgot. So anybody who wants to follow along or go purchase some of that, they can.
No, thanks. Yeah. I
You
was gonna say,
mentioned, oh, go ahead. I'm
oh,
sorry.
I was just gonna say it's silly too, just to warn the audience. So
As it should
it's
be.
that, yeah. So
See, I don't think silly is. I feel like that's maybe downplaying it. I think it's just whimsy. Like
Yeah.
it's a sense of just fun.
Silly
yeah,
in good ways, not like,
yeah,
Yeah,
not to, yeah, like you said, not to downplay it or look down on it. It's not that kind of silly. It's silly in, like, I tend to believe that we're all just big kids. So I feel like that's just something that all of us probably, some form of it is something we all secretly yearn for anyway.
yeah. I try not to take things too serious, I guess. Yeah, have fun.
It's definitely creative and clever in your approach, and I like that about it. And you mentioned how neurodivergence kind of helped, or once you said realization was, I think, the word you used, and I was thinking about how has like reframing the way your brain works changed how you treat yourself as an artist?
that's a great question.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of been a big part of my life. It was maybe 2 years ago. I got, kind of like diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum,
Okay.
um, which once I started reading and learning and understanding, yeah, it was like all kinds of light bulbs going off and just like re um, just like re understanding my entire past to that point. you
Yeah.
know there was lots of times in my life, yeah, I've struggled with anxiety and depression, which now I understand more as like autistic burnout,
Mm.
just
Mhm.
from the masking and everything. um, so yeah, it's definitely changed. I mean, that's part of why I was saying the robots kind of come into play too. Like I've always been really socially awkward and um, just struggled,
Yeah.
with different things. But yeah, I think that's kind of the what the arts, like I was saying, is really therapeutic for me in that sense and helping understand who I am and how I fit into the world. Even the humor is like, I think I definitely have like the monotone kind of um, dry personality that sometimes comes from the masking in that. So I always want to be like a funny, humorous guy. And that's where I think the art has allowed me to be like, oh, I do have a sense of humor. I can just, the punchline comes through my art rather than through my words, I guess. So,
That's a
yeah.
great way to say it. But as far as like how you treat yourself, do you find yourself being kinder or being more accepting, or maybe even I had not thought this question through. Or
No.
even just like more forgiving of yourself in how you approach things and how you see the world.
Oh,
Has that changed
definitely.
that?
Yeah, because there's just like so much guilt. I had a lot of learning disabilities, really dyslexic and never had help, never got diagnosed as a kid or anything. So there was a lot of guilt, and it was just a lot of times I just tell myself, oh, I'm kind of dumb, not really knowing like there's different types of intelligence, and then my brain just works differently. It's not I'm
Yeah.
dumb. It just sometimes it takes me longer to process certain things or this or that. So it definitely helped me. And then I've had therapy and stuff since too, just to help me understand. Um, and that's alleviated a lot. And then I have an amazing family that cares so much. They've helped me a lot too recently. But yeah, it was huge. I mean, as a kid, I grew up to, like in the Church of Christ. It was kind of strict um, environment of that. And I think that on top of being, on the spectrum, and I took a lot of things literally and all of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's come through with my art too, just even the thrift store Jesus prints and stuff, altering some of those. It was a way of me not taking things so seriously and like learning to process everything that's happened in my life. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been huge. Yeah, just learning how my
I
brain
believe that.
works.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, uh, I had seen some of your work without realizing that it was some of your work. And it
Oh.
was when I came across it was the side profile of, I think, a thrift store Jesus, and it just says, "Hey girl." Uh, I had seen that image shared amongst some of my friends, and it's like, "Oh, this is hysterical." And then I saw it on your website. I was like, "Oh, this is him." Uh,
Yes.
so it was a nice full circle moment for me.
Yeah, a lot of people recognize. I've done quite a few of the Jesus ones, and then yeah, people love them. I don't. I the first one I did, I don't think I shared it for like a full year or so. I was just like nervous, like
Yeah.
people are gonna get really mad at me.
Yeah. I could see
But
that.
eventually, just trying to be my authentic self and all the things, just I started sharing, and I've been surprised, like how much Christians and non-Christians, atheists, everyone likes them. So unless it's like a really older person, sometimes I'll get like a little dirty stare. But I've learned there's a lot of people with religious trauma out there. When I do the shows, I
Yeah.
hear so many stories, and then so um, it's been a great way for me to connect and kind of heal myself. You know,
I believe that. Yeah.
We can all find something humorous too, and a collectively known thing. It's like, oh, this is a nice little bonding moment. So Jesus there with a little Cadbury egg, or hey girl, it's nice.
Or Funyuns. Yeah.
yeah.
The back of Funyuns.
I sent that one to my sister. I sent her the link so she could go look at that. And she thought it was
Yeah.
pretty great. Yeah.
Some of that's just my teenage years, like that's what I remember. It was like Jesus and Funyuns. It was just like I'm just painting memories. It's a little bit,
That's
I
wonderful.
was a kid in the 80s, and a teenager in the early 90s. But yeah, it was that whole time of the satanic panic and all
Yeah.
the things, so
Mm-hmm.
it had an impact on me.
I remember that. Yep. Yeah, for me, it would have been Jesus and Skittles. How about you, Trey?
I'm sorry. What? I don't. I need to back up.
Wait, what he remembered from his childhood was
Uh-huh.
Jesus and then Funyuns. So what would
Okay.
yours be? I'm saying Skittles.
Oh God. Vanilla ice cream, honestly.
That's
Vanilla
a good
ice
one
cream,
too.
vanilla ice cream, and probably Pokemon.
Okay.
Honestly.
Nice. I'm
Someone
getting new material.
in the chat, Josh said D&D and a bag of Funyuns. Perfect weekend right there.
Yeah.
Sadly, I've become more of a
Funyuns.
dice goblin now.
Nice.
Yeah, we won't get into that. Talking like you're kind of you. So you found these things. Where does your inspiration stem from? Like, what sorts of things do you find yourself going back to become inspired?
It's usually, I mean, probably nature's my number one. I don't know. I love science. I probably would have went into biology if I didn't have like all the learning disabilities and stuff when I was young. I was not a good test taker. The art was just so much easier, but I still love science. Like usually when I read books, it's either science books or podcasts. It's usually science podcast. So I think a lot of it stems from that. I don't know. Maybe it's part of my neurodivergence. I just like the structure and logic of all of that. But yeah, I think all of that's connected. It's like the STEM stuff. So I I feel like the way things are connected in science is connected to art too. Everything is just
Oh yeah.
works together. So
We hear that often with a lot of our guests that we tend to maybe not, we don't dive into the science of it very much, but it comes up in at some point in almost every conversation where there is a level of science in the art that they do, whether it's mixing pigments because pigment doesn't happen without science, and or even like the type of medium that you're using, the paint, and how that reacts or does not react in the sun or to each other or on the surface you're painting, but or if it's a kiln with someone else or a torch or if it's the technology they're using to make their art happen. All of that is science. And I find that we keep coming back to that as well. And I think that's, like you said, it's all connected somehow.
yeah. And I think the discoveries in science, they're just so fascinating. But I think all of the discoveries, it's the same process as creativity, with the arts. I don't know, the way you're just discovering things and learning,
And the
Yeah.
innovation.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me.
What areas of science are you really interested in?
I mean, I really like, just like some of the animal sciences. I'm all over the place. It all fascinates me. I've also just kind of more recently gotten more into just physics and astrophysics and just all of it. Just wanting to know how the world works. I just don't get tired of hearing about it. Yeah.
If you have really out of the ballpark here, and I'll walk you through how I got there. If you know Hank Green at all,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I follow
Um,
him.
well, he got contacted by a group called Dropout.tv to do a 1 hour comedy special. And I said, pause, hold on. Hank Green does not do comedy.
I remember hearing this. Yes.
It is not your standard comedy. It is Hank Green doing comedy on stage, but it's talking about his cancer journey. The title is out there, and you can go find that. I will not say it on the podcast, just so we don't have to bleep that out. But
Thank you.
it But it taught me so much about his journey through that, and it was one of the most interesting ways that somebody I think could have talked about such a such a harrowing experience for them and finding out what they had done. So anyway, if you want a little comedy, a lot of comedy, and you want to learn at the same time, highly recommend his comedy special.
I'll check that out. Yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah, I've had several family members I've lost to cancer, so it's interesting. Yeah, following all of that science behind that and how it's changed. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
And now,
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think I remember hearing that he was doing that, but I never watched the actual special he did or the show he did.
I'll give you my login, so you
Oh.
can watch it. So I've got a subscription dropout. Anyway,
I'm writing this down. Drop out. Okay.
now I'm going to ask for recommendations from you. What science podcast would you recommend to us or to our audience so that they can go listen to some of the same things that you are?
Yeah, so probably my favorite one is Radio Lab. I listen to that one a lot. They're just, it's so well done. I don't know. I like Science Versus is a good one.
Okay.
I got so many I follow. There's I won't flood you.
No, please do.
Well, those
But
are.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say there's the ology. I'm just going over quickly in my head. Probably the Radio Lab's my favorite one. So there's quite a few episodes.
That's a good one for anyone who wants to start in that world. I think, anyway.
Yeah.
So, what is one of the? You probably get this question a lot, but I'm going to ask it here anyway. What is one of the biggest? You said 4 stories tall at one point. Is that the biggest mural you've done? Because that sounds gigantic to me. Like you can't just stand on the ground and paint that.
Yeah, the largest mural I've done was 5,000 square feet.
Wow.
So that would be like, it was like roughly 45 feet tall, which is about 4 stories.
Yeah.
By about 130 feet long.
Wow.
And
That's a big one.
I have a mural coming up. I'm supposed to start it in April, and it's not the biggest wall square footage I have, but it's going to be the tallest. It's like a stairwell, and it is almost 90 feet high. So
Wow.
it'll be a new challenge. So yeah, right. The next few weeks, I'm like getting certified and everything, and using a lift for that size.
So you're not like the guy that climbed the building recently in Taiwan. Did you hear about that?
No, there are some street artists that do where they hang from the single rope. I don't know. I'm actually terrified of heights. It's something
I was going to ask that next.
I've had to like really work on it, and I have gotten better. Like I do fine pretty much up to 20 feet now, but then over that, yeah. So I don't know. This new wall, we'll see. It's going to be a next level challenge. I was actually a friend tell me it's like, oh, this is your final boss fight kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So,
well, I'm glad you're keeping yourself safe, and you should be comfortable as you could possibly be, I suppose, to be able to do your art so that you can continue to do art.
Yeah. I just white knuckle through it. They say if you face your fears, I guess you get better at it, but which I have. It's gotten a little easier, but yeah, I still prefer to be on the ground if I can.
Yeah, they say do it scared, but that doesn't mean you have to do it scared every time.
Yeah. Yeah, you take the OSHA stuff real seriously when you're scared of heights. Yeah. I've been stuck in a lift one time. It actually happens pretty frequently I've heard other artists.
What?
But yeah, I was in a scissor lift, and I wasn't super high. Like probably the floor of the lift was maybe 12 feet high. And I was, yeah, it was like a Saturday late in the evening, and everything was closed, and my phone was on red. It was like, so I ended up having to climb down. It
Oh,
wasn't, it was a scissor lift, so it wasn't too hard to get
right.
down. But um, I don't know what I would do. Yeah, if I was in a ultra boom lift or something.
Just be like, I guess I'm sleeping here
But yeah, I guess I'll just stay here till, oh,
till someone finds me.
yeah.
I didn't even think about something like that getting stuck. Or like, I don't know. I imagine it has to have power from somewhere. So if that power is no longer, then like a battery running out, or I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you rent those lifts and they're like super old, you know, just like you just don't know what you're gonna get. So it's like, oh, you hope you
That
get a
still
good one.
seems safer than like a 90-foot ladder
Yeah, or hanging from the
with a
rope.
rope, right?
I know with the rope guys, like they have to, it's kind of interesting because they can only go down there for do it for so many hours because the harnesses cut off their circulation and their legs and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, it's intense. I'm like, I
It's
don't
like
know.
mountain climbing, but
It is, yeah,
but
because they
art.
have to swing to get, you know, like if they're painting and they want to be a few feet over, they basically have to get momentum and everything has to hang off of you, you know, all your spray cans or paintbrush, whatever you're using. It's just like,
It's like an Olympic sport,
yeah,
but
well,
art
yeah,
and more
that's what
dangerous.
it is. Yeah, I think doing murals, it does kind of get glorified by people where they see like, oh, that's the coolest job, you know, like I want to do that, but not realizing how physical and intense
Hmm.
it can be. Um, I'm actually just hit 50 not long ago, so I'm like, how long can I keep doing this with the murals? Because it, it it wears on you.
Sure, I imagine it would.
But I do have I recognize that I will be a little disheartened when that day comes, but for now we get to enjoy some incredible pieces from you, and there's
Well,
some amazing work out there.
thank
Uh,
you.
I completely lost my question. Oh my god. Uh, it'll
I
come back
do that all the time. Yeah. You were saying how wonderful my work is.
to
It is.
it.
I'm just
It is.
joking. I'm just-
Well, what do you have coming up? Um, what do you have coming up as far as work goes that you can
um,
share?
well, right now, like today, this past week, I've been in the studio. I've sold most of my originals because we had the holidays. So I think I'm down to one. They've all just went. So I'm trying to crank out a few new pieces, just to have those, um, just to have some originals available in the next few months. And then mainly, yeah, it's that big job. It's I guess it's maybe 8-story stairwell. So I'm
Yeah.
working on the designs for that. I've got the second round of reviews this week, for that. So, and then yeah, there's some other little projects that are just kind of, um, I never know what's going to land. But
Well,
yeah,
we'll
just
have to watch your website and social media to see what you're up to.
yeah.
So what I imagine you get asked sometimes for advice, and that's something that I want to know too, like as if someone wants to do what you do, what is your advice for them?
Man, I'd say it's changed so much since when I started. So, um, I would say, yeah, just if they want to paint murals, just find someone that's got a wall and just ask them if you can paint it, you know, and just start having fun and learning as you go. That's kind of how I learn. I mean, now I guess there's YouTube. People just watch
Sure.
how tos, but yeah, and then just gradually build up your portfolio. Um, yeah, like I said, I've done so many things that were, I don't know, I don't really call them failures, but just that were learning experiences.
Yeah.
So, you just got to put in those hours. That would be my advice. And just be patient and kind to yourself. So that's a biggie. I think it's so easy to get critical and throw in the towel, I think, a lot of times. But yeah, you gotta have grace.
It is. Yeah. I agree. Everybody is a beginner at some point. So
Yeah.
I think it comes with keeping your expectations in check as well.
Yeah, that's
So,
where the fun and whimsy. Keep it fun and whimsy. I find it the same with exercise. When it gets too hard, I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's like, I don't know. Keep it fun. It's the consistency that ends up, paying out.
right. That's been my problem too. The gym is not fun. Not unless there's like a volleyball court there or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, I really have enjoyed listening to you because I love that you are so interested in science. I love the whimsy that you bring to your paintings, and I'm, of course, a very big fan of your work prior to this podcast. So I want to thank you so much for spending time with us today. But I have one final question before we wrap up, and it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with what we've talked about at all. We like to ask our guests this on just about every episode, and that is, you are sitting down to lunch, and you could have lunch with anybody in the world, alive or dead. Who is going to be sitting on the opposite side of that table from you?
The first thing that comes to my mind is my wife or my mom, just because they're my favorite people in the world.
Oh.
That seems like too easy of an answer, so I'm going to go with maybe my third. I think would be, I'm so fascinated with Banksy,
Oh.
with just the stuff, the way he is like part of that crazy art world, but then he's also not part of it, and then he makes art about it, and it's just like, I don't know. And then I also just love the edginess of it and the social commentary. It really connects with me. So I don't know. I think he would be fascinating to learn from, or just hear, what he has to say. I don't know if anyone's ever said Banksy, but whoever he is,
No one on our show has ever said Banksy.
it would be interesting to me.
It is brilliant, though. Whoever he is, you might have to sign an NDA in order to have lunch with him.
Yeah, he could wear, I guess.
Wear like one of those trader hoods and just walk in and just.
Or maybe I would have to wear it. I don't know.
We can have lunch, but we can't face each other.
We'd have to cut holes so we could eat our own.
Yes.
Just get a straw, just have soup
Yes.
and just suck it in through a straw.
It's a bisque. No chance.
Mm.
Oh, Banksy, if you're out there, please come on our show.
Yes.
Oh,
You don't have to be on camera.
I would love that.
Oh gosh, Jason, we'll invite you back if Banksy, when Banksy approaches us to be on the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, we could. That would be cool if we would be able to arrange one of the lunches someone has said they would have. I mean, it'd be real easy for us to just be like, hey, you should have lunch with your wife.
Yeah. We'd just
But,
be
like-
buying us lunch. Just like, this is great.
Oh my gosh. But
That's
seriously,
wonderful.
Jason, thank you so much for spending time with us today and sharing your insight and your knowledge. It's really been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you guys keep up the good work. Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and reiterate, you can find Jason's work at artistjasonjones.com and on Instagram at artistjasonjones. And are there any other places we should be sharing?
I guess I'm on TikTok too. It's the
Oh, yeah.
same artist, Jason Jones.
Cool. Okay.
But yeah.
We'll have to go follow you there.
So please go follow Jason, go support him, and when he eventually joins the Artist Olympics, paragliding in to paint a mural or swing from the rocks to do that, we will be in full support.
We'll be there to cover that.
As long as you'll catch me. Yes.
Trey will be out there with like a big mattress trying to catch you.
I'll feel safe.
Little to the left, little to the right, little left, forward, back. That's not
I'll be
stressful.
live streaming that. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as we close this episode out, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to us wherever you are enjoying this podcast. Thank you so much for doing this. We could not do this without you. Because it's fairly fresh in my mind, we recently did a broadcast and live script reading, unrehearsed script reading of The Princess Bride. Please go check that out. There's some incredible artists in that. You get to hear their incredible voices. So really touching friends. So really want to plug that very quickly. Other episodes that you can listen to are available on our website at themodrom.com or wherever you check out podcasts. You can support us on Patreon at themodrom.com if you are able. Otherwise, we're all, of course, on social media. But thank you so much for tuning in most of all, and have a wonderful evening. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.